Today, we've got a review of Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Blizzard's new plans for esports, and Spider-Man's Tom Holland tests his comic book knowledge.
This is the IGN Show.
Hey guys, and welcome to the IGN Show. I am not Lana Pierce or William Haynes, however, I am Naomi Kyle.
Today's show is all about being the best. We'll head to Blizzard for a behind-the-scenes look at the World of Warcraft World Championship. Plus, I'll give a tour of the Pokemon World Championships, which has way less scary cosplay.
Then we'll go hands-on with Nidhogg 2, a fighting game with a unique look and an intense gameplay style. And then Peter Parker himself, Tom Holland, is put to the test when we ask him this very important question: Spider-Man villain or wrestler?
But first, it's time to talk about the game that mixes Mario and bazookas together into something crazy.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle takes Nintendo's iconic characters and shows what happens when they meet up with Ubisoft's insane Rabbids. Apparently, everyone breaks out the guns.
This Nintendo Switch exclusive isn't about platforming and collecting coins. It's about tactical strategy and blasting your foes. Here's our review.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is full of surprises. The bizarre story that brings Ubisoft's Rabbids into the Mushroom Kingdom of Nintendo's Mario and literally mashes them together embraces the fact that it's complete nonsense on every level and just rolls with it. Even though Mario plus Rabbids obviously borrows liberally from XCOM, its style of turn-based tactics is different and distinct because of how your team works together, bouncing off each other and using special abilities to maximize movement and damage. That can make it chaotic and confusing in the early levels, because the enemies are so mobile it's tough to predict what they'll do. But once I'd upgraded my characters, I could do some hugely satisfying chains myself, which makes up for a lot of the early frustration. It effectively promotes a very aggressive playstyle, and keeping your team together to make the most of their different abilities. The biggest surprise of Mario plus Rabbids is how viciously tough it is. Most fights took me 5 or 10 minutes to get a perfect score by finishing within the turn limit and having all 3 teammates still alive. But some took me an hour or more of trial and error attempts, testing out different combinations of the 8 characters and slightly different approaches to the problem. Some of the difficulty spikes are really nasty, and Mario plus Rabbids knows it. At the start of most fights, you're asked if you want to play in easy mode, which gives you extra health. Even then, I wouldn't call some of these easy. You really have to understand how the mechanics work to win, which is a good thing unless you're just learning the ropes. Merging the intentionally obnoxious Rabbids with Mario mainstays produces a lot of weird combinations. There are also several levels that have a strong gimmick, and a few boss battles with unique objectives. On top of that, it's beautifully animated. Say what you will about Rabbids, but watching these characters move conveys intensity and dramatic action, right down to the twitch of Mario's stash. Between fights, Mario plus Rabbids throws some mostly simple puzzles in our path to cleanse the palate. I could never quite get used to the fact that I'm supposed to be watching the little Roomba thing leading the party instead of Mario, as 30 years of gaming history has taught me. That made control feel imprecise, and a few time puzzles were harder than they should have been as a result. Another stumble is the progression system, which doesn't make a lot of sense. If you run out of cash to upgrade weapons and want to change up your party to counter a new enemy, you have to revisit a previous fight to earn more. And that would be fine, except that you play the old levels with your leveled up characters, which makes them so easy they're a waste of time and the money is basically free. Mario plus Rabbids also comes with a few co-op levels per world, though that's a little silly in a turn-based tactics game because it's no different from passing the controller back and forth between 2 people. Those levels do give you 4 characters instead of 3 though, which opens up the tactics a little. All told, there's at least 20 hours of content here. That's good because I can't see a lot of replay value in going back to do it again, other than to try the same scenarios with less appropriate teams. Based on its colorful world, beautiful animation, and source material, you might expect Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle to be my first turn-based tactics game. But you're in for a surprise. Even for XCOM vets, some of its battles are challenging puzzles. A few do devolve into a trial and error slog, but a good mix of enemies, objectives, and character abilities keep things interesting.
While E3 may be the biggest video game convention here in the States, it's got nothing on the crowds at Gamescom in Germany. It's Europe's biggest show, and Alana hit the show floor to take a look at all the biggest games.
I just got to play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, the Xbox build, for the first time ever here at Gamescom, and I have to say I was pretty impressed. It looks really great, it plays really great. It is a little different adjusting to changing weapons and managing your inventory, but I don't think it's different enough for anyone to have trouble picking it up. And one thing that actually felt better was jumping. I found it a lot easier to jump over things and navigate that way than I do on PC. So overall, I was really, really happy with the experience. It's a very, very exciting thing to come to console players, and hopefully we'll see you online very, very soon. Coming up on the IGN Show, we'll go hands-on with Nidhogg 2, the sequel to a very unique fighting game.
Plus, we'll test Tom Holland's knowledge of obscure Spider-Man villains and even more obscure professional wrestlers.
And later, we'll take you inside Blizzard for the history of World of Warcraft esports.
But first, here are 5 of our favorite creations in that other game you can play forever, Minecraft.
Welcome back to the IGN Show. With a comic book career spanning over 50 years, Spider-Man's had some very memorable villains, and a few not so memorable ones. While we're all waiting for the new Spider-Man game to be released, IGN editorial producer Terry Schwartz sat down with the movie's Tom Holland to play a very challenging game, villain or wrestler.
Let go of me! Let go of me!
Now, Tom Holland, there are many, many villains in the Spider-Man universe.
My work, I've got a lot to do.
And they have some pretty crazy names. So we wanted to test your knowledge of Spider-Man villains by seeing if you can tell the difference between a Spider-Man villain and a wrestler.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
Let's start with Arachnaman.
Definitely a wrestler.
He absolutely is a wrestler.
Woo!
But he looks like
what
he could
kind of
belong.
a costume is that?
It looks like it might be Spider-Man inspired.
Yellow and purple?
Honky Tonk Man.
You know how sometimes in the comics there's a really weird villain that shows up? That has to be a wrestler though.
It is indeed a wrestler.
Okay.
All right,
An
you're 2 for 2.
Elvis Presley inspired wrestler.
Rhino.
Villain.
He's actually both. Trick, he's also a wrestler.
We should get the Rhino to play the Rhino.
You heard it here first. I'm all on board that idea.
The
All
Rhino
right.
guy's like, yeah!
Gobbledygooker.
Wrestler.
He is indeed a wrestler, and look how awesome he is.
How does he wrestle in that?
I think there are some YouTube videos waiting for you when you're
Yeah,
when you're
the
done with this.
Gobbledygooker.
All right, up next, Hornswoggle.
Oh, that's a, he's a villain.
He is absolutely a wrestler. Kangaroo.
That's an animal.
He is a villain.
What?
So you can have Kangaroo and Rhino team up against Spider-Man down the road.
Is he Australian in the comics?
You better be.
Spider-Man, I'm Kangaroo.
All right.
I don't know why I keep trying to do an Australian accent. I can't do one.
All right, the Looter.
Villain.
Villain.
Yes. Wow, that's cool.
Tom did all right this round. For more Spidey videos, head to IGN.com.
If you think you're a fighting game master, then you definitely need to check out Nidhogg 2, which puts a new spin on classic 2-player matchups.
That's right, it's got a unique art style and no 2 matches play out the same way. Let's go hands-on and check it out.
What is going on, everybody? Mark Medini here, features producer here for IGN.
And I'm Tom Marks, PC editor here at IGN.
And we are playing Nidhogg 2, where we are going to play a best 2 out of 3 match. You ready for this, Tom?
Let's do it.
Let's do this. All right. Wow. This level's busy. Okay.
Come on up. Come on up.
I have nothing,
Hang it down.
which is sometimes better than having a bow. And I'm gone. That's it. I'm out of here. Come on up, Tom. Come on up. Come on. Yeah.
Okay, we're right back at the beginning there.
That's not fair because the background is purple and my character's purple.
Oh.
Dude, the bow is working out for you.
Okay.
That was a strategy.
I want to win with the bow here. I want to win with the bow. Oh, forget the ball, forget the ball, yes! Yes!
I like that you swim. I hate that.
Okay.
Yeah! Oh, man.
No.
I don't know what I can Take a lot.
More like Legolas. Oh! That moment when you throw your weapon and you don't get the hit it's an embarrassing one. Oh wait.
Oh wait.
Yes!
No.
Okay, I didn't even move that time. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, that's game, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's game. All right, all right.
So we've each won one. We're playing best 2 out of 3. So this is it. Come on. Dang it!
Oh no. No! Oh, fell onto the sword. I'm not sure what just happened there, but let's not talk about it again.
No. No!
He's so afraid of the
The guy
bow.
just jumped off.
I'd recommend being afraid of the pit of fire also.
No!
Oh, yes!
That's it.
Yes,
That's
the
it.
bow victory.
And you get it. Sorry.
Good game.
Sorry, buddy. Good game. That was a good game.
Yeah.
Best 2 out of 3. And Tom Marks took me down. All right, so that's it. Tom Marks is the Nidhogg 2 champion of this room.
When the IGN Show returns, we'll take you to the Pokemon World Championships in Anaheim, California. Plus, we'll head to Blizzard for a look back at the history and future of World of Warcraft esports. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the IGN Show. Even if you're not competing at the Pokemon World Championships, it's still a great event to check out. You get to meet fellow trainers, check out the cosplay, and spend an entire weekend right in the middle of the Pokeverse. Will got to do just that.
What do you get when you fill a Southern California hall with thousands of people who all believe that they should be the very best like no one ever was? You get the Pokemon World Championships 2017.
Which of you has what it takes to be the next world champion?
Today, people are competing because they believe they're either the best at Pokemon, the video game, Pokemon, the card game, and Pokken, the fighting game. They're competing for a combined total of $500,000 in one of these trophies. It's more than bragging rights.
Let the battles begin!
We have over 700 competitors from 34 different countries, and everyone gets together, they have a great time, and then we name world championships at the end of it.
Can you tell me what's happening right now?
Well, right now, they're pulling up a Russian translator. We have players from all countries all over the world playing Pokemon today. All the judge rulings happen in English, but the Russian translator is going to come over, work with the judge and the opponent, and they're going to try to figure out everything that's going on.
Even though there's plenty of global tension, would you guys be able to play each other together fair and square?
Absolutely. I leave the tension on the table, you know what I'm saying?
What about you? Where do you leave the tension?
Definitely on the table.
Shake hands for me.
Good luck, brother.
We're here at the Pokemon trading card game tournaments. I can't interfere because this is a very serious thing, but I wouldn't have gone with Geodude. It's gotta be nerve-wracking enough to be a kid in this situation. Imagine having your proud parent over your shoulder at the moment. They might be small, but they're playing for big money. Give me a break! Good game. Outside the convention center is the Pokemon Center.
We're trying to buy the whole world.
Yeah. Now, if you're a Pokemon fan, you're a big fan of the exclusivity. We're here in the exclusive section. All of these things here, you can't get them where you're at because you're at home. You can only get them here, right now. Don't you wish you were here, Miranda Sanchez? I know you wish you were. Now I got 2 Raichus and another Vulpix. I don't even know who this is. We're located at the dedicated trade area. Pokemon fans from all over here come here to collect and trade. I got a bag full of exclusive gifts that you're given as the welcome bag. I'm gonna try to trade something today. I'm really interested in that birthday Pikachu. Yeah. course I want it. It's a misprint Pikachu. It's mine. I'm giving him the pin. All right, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. Of course I'm about to trade 5 different things for this Pikachu. Thanks, man. I'm a winner today. I don't lose. I won. I got all the Pikachus. I collected them all.
In just a minute, we'll take you inside Blizzard's big plans for the World of Warcraft World Championships this November. But right now, here's IGN's most popular games this week. This is based on web traffic, video views, and social media. Basically the games you're talking about.
Welcome back to the IGN Show. When you're talking about Blizzard games and esports, a few games immediately come to mind. Overwatch, Hearthstone, and of course, StarCraft.
Even though World of Warcraft is an MMO, the developers have always encouraged players to get into PvP arena combat.
Here's Malik Forte with the road to the World of Warcraft World Championship.
Hi everyone, I'm Malik Forte and this is IGN's Esports Stories. If you couldn't tell by now, I'm at the Blizzard campus to check out some competitive World of Warcraft. Blizzard Entertainment has been publishing and developing hit franchises for over 25 years. Their release of the StarCraft expansion Brood War in the late 90s helped establish esports as we know it today. However, Blizzard's most successful running franchise is Warcraft, which started off as a real-time strategy game turned into an MMORPG when World of Warcraft was released in late 2004.
World of Warcraft, unlike a lot of competitive games, there's this massive world that when you're not in the arena, you're out showing yourself off to other people. And that idea of who's the best and being the best just kind of naturally gravitated towards an esport.
So it's safe to say that PvP was kind of a goal from onset.
Yeah, because you know, in an MMO you wanted this emergent, like we're running into each other and we can fight and things like duels to see who's better. But it wasn't necessarily as, like you said, as structured and well-balanced and tuned as it is now.
Was it regarded as being pretty risky, switching a genre from that RTS format and bringing it into the MMO?
Building a morgue, they're so big, it's online, it's so many people. Yeah, it was a huge risk, but we just plowed into it and said like, hey, we're gonna do this, you know, and just tried to make it as great as we could.
WoW's player versus player popularity grew along with the number of subscribers. Arenas are scattered throughout Azeroth where teams can compete against one another in death matches.
We have a very simple game in Arena in the fact that, hey, it's 3v3 and the last team standing wins. That's fairly easy to understand. And I always liken it more to a boxing match or a UFC fight where these two teams are just going at it and it's very quick and fast paced.
You guys feel like there's been a challenge kind of like communicating that to people that like, hey, I know our game is regarded as an MMO, but we still do have like a solid, like competitive game.
We don't really see it like that. We feel like esports is for our community. It's for the people who do care about it. Yeah. And they're the ones who are spending time and growing that scene. So our focus is really on them.
Everyone at the end of the day loves to watch who is the best at something. Right. Like you just want to admire the skill level that you don't have, and so to be able to see people be able to play a game at that level, I think is amazing.
The game is still going strong today because of numerous updates, several expansions, and the introduction of esports with the WoW Arena World Championship.
Did you get to watch the World of Warcraft finals at BlizzCon at all?
Yes.
It was insane.
It was insane.
It was crazy.
Anything left. So many upfields from Swansea. They're desperately trying to get
it was such an incredible crowd, and that's the magic, I think, of esports.
Okay, so any early favorites?
Team Splice that won last year They have Fabs, who's a 3-time BlizzCon champion, really kind of an unprecedented achievement in esports, and they are 2-time winners.
The World Championships in particular for this year, you guys are expanding. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So this year we're doing more cups. Last year it was 3, this year it's 5, and that means we're going to have more content at regionals, we're going to have more content at BlizzCon, more matches, more players, and it's just a big win for everyone who loves it.
The scene has just been getting bigger, which is surprising because you would think later on in the life cycle of the game, it'd be going in the opposite direction.
WoW has impacted millions of people across the globe, and I think that a game that has lasted and has thrived in our environment for so long naturally kind of has like ups and downs. And if there's anything that we've seen out of WoW over the last several years is that it's actually still just as strong and is continuing to go up.
On our next episode, we'll play Call of Duty while flying in an actual jet for our latest Extreme Gaming Challenge.
Plus, we'll review Agents of Mayhem, the open-world superhero spin-off of the Saints Row series.
And we'll go hands-on with the most wanted gadget of 2017, the Super NES Classic.
That's it for this episode of the IGN Show.
Keep it locked to IGN and follow us on Snapchat.
And thank you for watching. So Pikachu on Snapchat.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. It is actually adorable. They have the cute filter for yourself, for your face, and then you have an actual Pikachu who jumps out and electrocutes you.
Was that was the weird dancing sausage a Snapchat thing?
Yeah, that was.
That was too?
It was a hot dog.